has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's going out.
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends discuss the most recent semifinal C3 tournament winner, the Columbus Crew. We are going to review our 3-1. What was the aggregate? 5-2 aggregate victory over Monterrey. We're going to
free from desire. Yeah, fire. Tip of the head. We're going to the final.
Yeah.
Final.
You've just been playing guitar solos since Wednesday.
I got fired from my job for doing too many guitar solos.
A foot up on the monitor.
I'm trying to do the splits like Jean-Claude. Sorry, Jean.
Yeah, we did not have a league game this weekend, but we're going to look forward to the Hell is Real match against, this weekend. And then, we'll do some quick prediction reviews. I think we have a Crew 2 update. But before we get into that, I have Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas with me. Say hola, guys, here on the Cinco de Mayo.
Hola.
Hola, amigos.
Hola.
Just
Hola.
found out it was Cinco de Mayo. Like
Tip of the sombrero. You're gonna have to bleep that.
I might have to bleep
Be a
it.
long bleep. So the Crew, I wonder if any of them stayed in Mexico for the festivities. Probably not a welcome sight, a Crew jersey down there this week. Speaking of which, we had planned to try to get our perennial sponsor, Morgan Hughes with Supporter Supply and Aces Radio on to recount his experience there in Mexico. Apparently he's not back yet. And there was, and so he's not able to join us, but there was some speculation on corners of the internet that he may not have made it back. So they were talking on their podcast about who would make it and who would not. I saw lots of oddly spaced typos in his response to us.
Yeah.
So I think we need to start a hashtag like, Donde Morgan or something like that.
I think it's Donde Morgan. No big deal. Just do it
Yeah. So anyway, but based on the broadcast, it looked like the Monterrey fans were exclusively young women between the age of 25 and 16.
Careful.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys were watching any of the pregame, but it was a little on the nose. Like the cameraman was looking one way. But did any of you guys go to the game?
Nobody went to the game.
Nope.
Definitely not. Although I did price out Pachuca, and that's also not going to happen.
Yeah, my passport's not in good standing.
Someone was like, "Are you going to drive?" And I was like, "Do I not know where it's at?" And then I'm like, I Google how far to Pachuca, and it's like, don't go.
It's a Mexican province in Indiana. Didn't you know?
Yeah, right.
That actually checks out. Michael
Still not
Jackson was
going.
there.
No.
Yeah.
It was 33-hour drive. And I think the Nordeca is trying to get a bus, but like a bus would even be longer, man. That's a bus ride. That's a lot.
They already had enough problems going to Canada. You think Mexico's going to let them in?
That's a lot of farts on that bus. Too many farts.
Yeah. So we all watched the what was it on Fox? Was it Fox?
Oh, we
all watched it
streamed it.
together.
We were
Come on.
together. I completely
You
forgot.
didn't watch it on Fox.
I was
You watched
not
it on
with
YouTube.
You. I was
with
not
us.
with you. I didn't watch you. I didn't join you.
Yeah, you didn't join it.
I had the longest day of my life.
Well, I basically didn't join, so
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about
House
that.
played the role of comedic relief, trying to get actually his microphone to work.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's
What
called
was the problem again,
plugging
House?
it into the
There you go.
computer.
Oh, he never plugged it in.
That
So
was
yeah,
so
you guys
much
did
fun.
a live stream of the. I totally forgot. Why is life so long? Like this was like 4 days ago.
I would
and
argue it's over.
I did. Yeah. But you guys got it hooked up, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think we're gonna like whoever can join for like away games and stuff like that. It was a blast. We had a lot of people like hop in and participate. It was awesome. It was like so much fun. Like people popping in and out and stuff like that. Haas came in once and just
Silent.
He was silent, and then he like finally got it working, and then it just showed his fan. It was like in his pocket.
Oh yeah, because I got it working on my phone, the app, and then my AirPods were too the mic was way too hot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
He
really
came from
good.
a concert in his
Sounds
defense.
good.
yeah, I think we
That is
were on
true.
YouTube, and I think
I
we're
was
gonna try to get
drunk.
on like Facebook and some other stuff.
Friendster.
Twitter, you have to pay for now or something?
MyFriendsPlace.com.
Yeah. Good point.
Okay. Well, so so you guys did that. I just had a crazy day at work and I was ready to die, but I did watch the game and man, well, let's get into it. We don't need to. I'll share my thoughts as we go through it. Let's just jump into it. What'd you guys think of the lineups? We kind of knew that they were gonna go big based on how we lined up against Montreal the previous Saturday. Haas, do you want to go through those?
Yeah, so we started with Cucho, Hinestroza, and Rossi up top. Yeboah, Morris, Nagby, and Zawadzki across the middle. Chaberko, Camacho, Morera in the back, and Schulte in goal. I was surprised to see Hinestroza starting. I mean,
Yeah.
not in a negative, it was just, oh, okay, that's who he's going with.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that stood out to me. Although he didn't line up on the left like he has been with, like stretching it out left. He actually played on the right and he stayed tucked in. So it was like which is what I prefer. And yeah, that's the first thing I saw. I was like, oh man, I don't like this like little wrinkle he does. But then like right when they kicked off, I was like, oh, he's on the right. Like he's staying pinched in. We're getting width from Yeboah, and actually for the most part, I think Zawa stayed back. I think we started out a little bit. We sat back a little bit.
We predicted this though, right? I mean, or at least I think the consensus was that Zawadzki was going to fill in for
Farsi's injured.
Farsi.
Yeah.
Right. So he was kind of new in that spot, but I think that was due to Farsi's injury. Okay. All right. And then out the gate, what'd you think? How'd we look?
It took us some time to get it to. I mean, the first 20, 30 minutes, it felt like we were turning the ball over quite a bit, and we looked okay defensively, kind of some sloppy clearances, but they didn't get. I don't know if they had any shots on goal in the first 30 minutes, but
just one that was put away by our own player, but that was about it.
yes. Other than that one,
I think they had the home field bounce. You know what I mean? Like they were up for the game in the beginning, and that piece of trash field that we had to play on definitely played to their advantage.
That was bananas.
It was not.
It just looked like
it's risky. I mean,
like
it
they
looks
had
like
just
somebody
rolled it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, they're supposed to be hosting World Cup matches.
Well, that will be a whole different. They're going to replace the whole field after the season is over now. Apparently,
why aren't they? Why wasn't it good? I don't understand. Like this
I
is
don't know
the.
if it's rainy season and they've been replacing it over the winter season or whatever it is.
I mean, Chabert.
It's a newer stadium, right?
Yeah.
Camacho was like throwing stuff. They mentioned it on.
Oh, he was mad.
Yeah, he was like.
But he dug a hole with his foot. He could, and stuff like that. You can break your leg.
Yeah,
I mean, that's no joke.
It looked like they took a layer of sod and just put it on top of the field. Like there was already a field there, and they just put another like when you put or like maybe they did it twice. Like when you try to replace your roof, and it's like, well, we could just put your new roof on top of your old roof, and then you keep doing that, and then
forever.
No, but this is a soccer stadium. It's not a roof.
Yeah, why did we hire roof people for our soccer
put
stadium?
Shingles on this field?
Get out of here.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising how loose and just readily that was like tearing up. I agree with you, Bart. I mean, it's probably a lot more dangerous than Charlotte turf, for instance.
I would say so.
By a little. But yeah, I mean, like what, 7 minutes in, Darlington gets a handball, which wasn't a handball, and he gets a yellow card. Like
his hands were against his body. How is he
right.
supposed to go anywhere else other than here?
I think, yeah. It hit his hand, but his hand was like here, right? Like kind of cross
as he was turned. Yeah,
but like I
And
think maybe
it
the
comes
argument
out-
was that like
it comes out due to the impact of the ball.
his
it wasn't a handball.
like.
And the thing is, I understand it if you block it and it's like inside the box or right outside the box. This shot was from like 40 yards out.
It was he was like right in front of it. He didn't have time to react. It was in the silhouette of his body. You know what I mean? So like I thought the rule was like if it's in the silhouette of your body and your hands are tucked, it's not a handball. Like by the letter
I don't think
of
we
the
need to get
law.
more into it, but keep it in mind for later.
Well, yeah,
I think
but the
more
yellow
importantly,
card
it
was
shouldn't have been a yellow.
yeah.
Hell no.
But wasn't he in the box?
No. That would be
Nagby was not in the box.
No, he
No,
was
that would
like
be a penalty.
no, it would have been a penalty. Yeah, he was like well outside the box.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the guy
Yeah,
had the
of course.
yellow card out
I know
before
rules. Yeah.
he like even blew the whistle, and I'm like, what just happened? And the problem was people were like, people were kind of going either way, but I'm like, yeah, but when one of your defensive center mids or your center mids gets a yellow in the 7th minute and he has to play 90 more minutes on a yellow, like it doesn't. He can't tactical foul or play like he.
Yeah.
You
Well, and
want
Holden
to.
on the call was like, "Oh, that's the right call." I mean, he was
It's-
hard to listen to for a good
Yeah,
portion
Holden
of that.
can be
That's typical.
something.
I will say what I tried to say earlier, which is just that I think that there was a radial component where he was a little turned. His shoulders weren't square with where the
Turned?
ball was being kicked. And so when he was turned, his hand, though it was in front of his chest and between his shoulders, it extended, his width
He was protecting
was
his
back
heart.
to front. All right, whatever.
This
Let's
is
move
minor
on.
part
Let's
of the
move
game.
on.
And
Yeah.
free kick, okay. Not a yellow card, but
Yeah, and I then I was like, if this is how it's going to be, I'm going to have a hard night. Like I'm going to be like pissed because I hate getting on the refs. I'm like, but I think for the most part it was actually pretty good after that. Like I don't really.
And
have
then
that
there was the own goal a few minutes later, which
yeah, if
was
you wanna call
like
it that,
another. You can hear Ben doing the Benny Hill kind of like a great shot, hit the crossbar, didn't go in, but Chaberko was there to run it in, right?
yeah, man.
Yeah.
You got it,
He
Haas.
100% thought it was going in and kind of stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Haas.
So yeah, own goal, Chaberko. Schulte plays a long ball out of the back, and Cucho can't settle it, and Monterrey takes the ball at midfield. Rodriguez has some time and space, plays a ball over the top to Meza, with Chaberko marking him. Schulte comes out. Meza chips it over him, hits off the crossbar, deflects down as Chaberko continues towards goal, and it goes off of him and into the goal.
Just taps it in.
He just couldn't stop.
Yeah. It also looked like he kind of like, okay, this is going in, kind of stopped his even thinking about the fact that it might not go in.
And even if it didn't touch him, Meza was there to
Oh,
clean
yeah.
it up.
It would have been a goal.
He was
even if
Do
in
you
the right
think he
spot
could have
to clean
cleared
it up.
it like left? Like just like knocked it out. Like left foot. Just like
He probably could have, but I would say it would be unlikely.
yeah. I mean, when it happened in real time, I was kind of like, that's fine. That was gonna go in. I tell you what, that ball over the top was awesome.
Yeah,
So-
and it put Schulte in a tough spot
Mhm.
because there's a 1v1 situation there still, so he can't go in there, and so that means like he can't really rush out.
yeah.
So he's stuck in between. So and then it's a perfect, that chip over him
Mhm.
is pretty much as perfect as can be. So
And that brings the aggregate score to 2-2.
yeah, at that
And
point
we
they
would
were
have-
through on away goals.
We would have lost had that
Yeah.
score held.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what? let's move to like the, as Mort would say, the second half of the first half.
Of the first half.
What'd you guys see?
Man, I'm trying to remember that part of the game. Some of the middle parts were kind of hazy. I felt like, going back and watching the highlights, they were still kind of like peppering.
I think they owned this game in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for the very end of the first half. But yeah.
Well, they had another header. They had another header that went a little over, but that was like an 18th minute or something like that. And they had a couple of half chances, but they didn't get to like.
Schulte was able to like gobble all of those up. Like straight up, he did really good. At one point, I think it was around. I'm looking at like the 34th minute. They had a guy, Sebastian Vegas, like collide with their keeper,
Their keeper took him out.
And even in slow motion, it looked like he murdered him. Like his head, got
shoulder to the head, right?
So I was like, okay. And then whatever. Like not even 5 minutes later, he just like goes down. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know where he's playing. He doesn't even. He's just like.
But I think it was his knee, wasn't it? I think his knee got caught.
I thought it was his head.
It was a weird.
Yeah,
the keeper landed on him.
Something hit
awkwardly.
him in the head.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't good. That was one of those moments.
He stays down and then he comes back on and then he ends up going back down and getting subbed out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a head injury. It was like pretty bananas. But Hector Moreno comes on and he's like an old dude.
There was also the handball
30.
by Monterrey that they kicked off that ball after like 2 seconds. There was no like, hey, hold on, maybe we should have a look at this. And they never show. By the way, replay is hard to find, just like in MLS.
Yeah.
In the C3.
So
what he was jumping, his leg was out, and his entire
arm was extended
out
for a cross, and
like
that was a
fully
cross.
extended.
Was it
no call?
Well, and people were like, well, the ref's terrible. At the end of the game, I'm like, to me, like if he missed that for whatever reason, that's got to be VAR. Like that's literally why it's there. Is like, hey, hold on, there's something going on, and they didn't even review it. I lost it.
Somebody mentioned something during the live stream about not being a reviewable play.
That's what the announcers were talking about at the time.
So
Holden and whoever else.
How is that not a reviewable play? It's a handball in the field.
Because it was. Oh, was it outside? We were thinking it was.
No,
outside
it was
the
in
box?
the box. He was in the box. Handball in the box.
it was something that I think Eric had mentioned in terms of like what is reviewable, and based on what it was, they couldn't review it or something. I don't know.
I know one thing. Eric is much smarter than we are.
That's also true.
After us, yeah.
Shout out. To
Eric.
It
to me, if you're gonna call that call and card Nagby earlier, then why aren't you calling it on the other end? That's the only thing I care about. Is like keep the game equal. If you're gonna call it early, call it now.
Well, that was
it wasn't reviewable, I think, because what ended up happening was very shortly thereafter, Cucho ends up fouling someone pretty hard in our attack, our box. So they called that foul, and it was like the game had gone on. The foul was called on Cucho, which was a legit foul.
Right.
So I don't know if
but
they
that's strange though, because
go back and review.
That's
no,
not
they
a
can
thing.
do that. We've even seen goals.
Happen on the other end.
Happen on the other end after a penalty on the other side. It happens.
In
so I don't
MLS.
really understand why it's not.
That's MLS play.
Okay.
Is it a?
I'm not.
To your point.
I agree with you that it should have been
Yeah.
reviewed, but I don't know why it wasn't. I also don't know why Nagby. They actually looked at that and gave him a yellow card, and like it doesn't make any sense.
That was on the
no part of
field.
it's going to make sense.
Yeah, that was like on the field. It wasn't like after. It was like it just whatever. It was a.
Anyways.
Should the 49ers have taken the ball first in overtime of the Super Bowl?
Probably.
Yes.
Weigh in on that. Okay.
Yeah. Harbaugh's.
But
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay,
So it looked like we were going to have down 1-0 until a goalie rushes the ball and want to start to play. Haas?
Yeah, so 45 plus 4, Aiden Morris goal. Yeboah plays a cross into the box looking for Zawadzki, but Andrada, the Monterrey goalie, comes out and grabs it. He takes a few steps, hesitates with the ball. The crowd is kind of jeering at him. They thought that like they could get a quick counter. He then tries to roll
These
it
are
out
like
to
the
one of his
waning moments, right, of the half.
Yes,
Like,
45 plus 4 with, I think, 3 minutes called. Rolls it out to his midfielder. Aiden reads the pass the whole way, beats him to the ball. As he gathers it, he's moving towards the goal, takes a couple of steps with the ball towards the box. No one from Monterrey steps. Keeper's out of position, and Aiden just kind of slots it between the defenders low and to the keeper's right into the side netting.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I thought he should have taken it a lot sooner. It's weird that the goalie stayed between like the 18 and the 6 after
He never went
because he was
over.
so far out when he played the ball, and it just happened so
I
quickly.
think he's kind of had to keep his eyes on the ball and kind of back up while he's kind of looking, so he can only move so fast backwards. I
Or
guess.
maybe like staying up so he can cut off the angle. You know, if you move further back, it's harder to move left and right.
Yeah.
Which, I thought he should have shot it way earlier, and then I was like, he kind of dribbled around, but no one really stepped to him. I guess it's
This is
because
such an Aiden
100%.
play though. Like you see him like sniffing, he see it might happen. You see him started like jogging that way, and the second he started to roll it, he starts sprinting in that.
What other game did that happen in just recently where he did like the same thing?
Tigres.
He played.
Yes.
He's so good. Like I feel like if I had to pick, if I showed up there and like you get to pick one player from the crew to be on your team, I'd be like Aiden. I mean, that dude like runs 400 miles a game or something. Like he just never stops. And the thing is, like, I didn't realize that he was like, it seemed like he was out of position on that play because he was way out on the left.
Yep.
So it wasn't like he was in the center and like took the ball off him. He like came from the left to the center to take that ball off. I mean, their guy was open,
finish.
but he just like, man, he pounced on that. And then the goal was just, oh man, I lost it. And that was right. What was that? 49 and
They blew the whistle
45 plus 4.
right after the goal for the half.
that changed
And
everything.
it put Monterrey in the position to where they had to score. I mean,
right.
it was 3-2 on aggregate.
They had to
twice.
score once to go to extra time
Yeah.
Yes.
and twice to win.
Yeah. I kept saying we were
And-
playing with like house money. I'm like, yeah, if they go and score again, we still are in it. You know what I mean? Like at this point,
Right.
Yep.
we can kind of not relax, but like play our game. And if they score again, like, okay, we can react to that. But it gave us like more carte blanche to be like, all right, we're the crew. We can do our thing. So like when we came out the second half, totally different team. Like it just felt like, oh, that's right, we're the crew. I just assume Nancy always at halftime, whenever we come out and do this, which we have a decent amount of times, he just goes in. He's like, guys, I'm Wilfred Nancy. Go play the way I want you to. And you're like, okay, cool.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah. And he just walks out, gets a bourbon. Centauri time. I don't know.
Hawes, I had that thought this week that the crew said, "Who do you think you are? I am." Like that was totally with this game.
I'm surprised that meme hasn't been like hit up.
It's not that. I think it's only big between us.
I mean, it was before
it's a
memes.
shirt. I mean,
it was before memes. It was like 2008. I was literally talking about this tonight to people.
At a graduation
we were
party.
watching it. We were watching it live
You're the life
in
of the
our
party.
living room at Como. And I was like,
oh, you're now,
is
hold
going
on. You're
to
telling
be
your
something.
memory. You
telling your
saw
memory.
it happen.
Yes.
When we lived together, we saw this. Hold on. Well, let's give a little
Because he
context.
was freaking out.
This is a bowling final, like a
Pete
PBA.
Yeah.
And we don't I mean, we weren't watching a lot of bowling, but we did.
No.
But we did bowl a lot.
We bowled, but we weren't very serious.
This happened to
about it.
be
We'll
on.
bowl a
This
lot.
happened to be on, and we watched this final, and he like needed the strike kind of thing.
Well, and
like,
he was throughout the whole thing.
was
He was
like-
getting pissed at the crowd because he thought
Yeah.
someone was messing with him.
he was like the bad guy.
He's the
you know?
heel.
He was
He's like an absolute
Yeah.
heel. I've been
Yeah,
told
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the sweetest guy in real life, but he just plays the heel. But he's
But
also one of the best
he
bowlers of all time.
scores the strike and wins the day, and his immediate reaction is, "Who do you think you are? I am."
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, "Yeah, wait, what? What is there?
Anyway,
where's the punctuation?"
Yeah, that I felt like this is what. Yeah, I mean, the crew, they were down. I mean, you know, it wasn't like they weren't really out of it, but they did get scored on, and they were away, and you know, in Mexico, yada yada yada. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that took us into the half. Let's break here, and when we come back, we'll run through the second half and get some thoughts from the internet. We'll be right back.
Hello, Adam Hernandez here, fellow crew fan and Columbus-based artist, muralist, and designer. When I'm not making art, I'm looking at art. And when I'm looking at art, I want it to come to life. That's why I made my new augmented reality prints. What's an augmented reality print, you may ask? Well, I make my really cool psychedelic art come to life in the palm of your hand. Check out my website, ahernandezart.com, or at ahernandezart to learn more. They're really rad. Hernandez Art.
All right, we're back. Yeah, like we said, we didn't get Morgan. Hashtag Donde Morgan. What's the hashtag?
Adonde Morgan.
Adonde.
And were you trying to get somebody else on here?
Yeah, I hit up Keith Noss, but the problem was I didn't realize I was on my own Instagram. So I sent him this message that was like, hey, do you want to talk about Monterrey or something like that? But my Instagram handle is cat_pants. So it's cat pants. And he hasn't responded for a good reason.
And nowhere in the message did you mention
that I was
talking about on a podcast.
If he listens, if Keith's out there, I'm sorry, but
yeah,
my bad. But as soon as I sent it, and I was going to send it again, like, oh yeah, I'm Ben with U90C or whatever, and it was like it blacks you out. It's just like, he has to accept this. I'm like,
and you know what? He can't talk about it. What happens in Monterrey stays in Monterrey.
That's also true. I was going to ask him. Yeah,
probably.
100%.
Okay, so let's jump into the second half here. Different game, right? I mean, we came out like, as we said before the half, it was the game was kind of back in our hands, right? I mean, the best they could do with a goal would be to have it tied on aggregate. So we were really in the lead again, up from being behind, right?
Yeah.
And additionally, the first thing we did was bring on Matan for Hinestroza before the half started.
That had was that
immediate
planned
change
or something? Because Hinestroza I don't think played poor. We seemed a little disjointed, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
He had his moments.
A genius sub.
Oh yeah, 100%. And again, I'll say it. Like if I had everybody healthy, which we do now, Matan is in my starting three. Like it's Cucho, Matan, and then probably either Rossi or Ramirez.
Not Morris, like you said earlier.
You shut your mouth.
Where you were randomly talking about picking some teams at a crew game or something?
Oh, if I had to pick one,
if I showed up and picked man, I'd pick that.
That's my man.
Until we're talking about someone else later, and then I'll pick them.
And then I'll pick that.
I'll pick three others.
I'm not choosy.
We're called the recency biases, and we're the best team in the world right now.
But I think what happened was it was more of like, Cucho was dropping in, getting the ball, and then what Matan did is he played more of the dropping in and getting the ball, and we allowed Cucho to play. Stretch it more vertically, and he was able to drop in and get the ball. Because for whatever reason, Rossi doesn't do that either. Like, Rossi was stretching it vertically. Cucho was also stretching it vertically, but like Matan was the one coming in and, getting the ball.
And he scored, Rossi, right? Shortly after the.
Yeah, and I think right before that, we were talking before, we were like, I think it was Connor who was like, yeah, what do we need in the next window, or what are you looking for? And we're like, well, probably another DP. It's Rossi's just not doing it. And I think one of us was like, that just means Rossi's going to score this game. Every time we're like, I don't know about Rossi. It takes us like 15 minutes, and then he puts one away, and it's like,
there's another player that's like that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, but. Still, it was just like, it was inevitable. Like, as soon as it happened, it was inevitable that it was going to happen. I was like, yep, that totally checks out.
49th minute, Rossi goal. Camacho wins the ball, and the crew work the ball around the right side of the field. Morris plays a ball to Chiberko just outside the center circle, and he's able to find Yeboah wide open on the left side. He drives it forward, but ends up dropping the ball to Chiberko. He plays a beautiful line-splitting pass to Matan in the offensive half of the field. He's able to turn and dribble toward the Monterrey back line and has Cucho on his left, Rossi on his right, both making runs. He slips a pass through to Rossi, who takes one touch, shoots to the keeper's right into the side netting, brings the aggregate to 2-4.
And
Cue the classical music.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the video of when they put just classical music above this? Like, I think they did 24 passes or something before the goal.
This was Crew
ridiculous.
101. This was like Nazi ball 101. This is what happens when like we scored and we're like, hey guys, let's just go out and play our game. Like, let's throw it out the window. Hennis throws us off, whatever that was. Let's go with what we normally do. And it was, like a bunch of passes, working it left, right, finally getting it out left. And this is what I was talking about, where Matan drops into that space, like right in the middle of the field, and no one picks him up. Like, that's just, he's wide open, and he's just a little dribbly boy, right? Just a little dribbly boy.
Yeah.
And he takes it in. He actually ends up megging, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it might have been Guzman, like into Rossi, and then just like taking that touch and in. And I was, I lost it. I mean, that entire half, like I felt good. I was like, okay, cool, 1-1. All right, cool. And then we came out second half, and it was just like us controlling the game. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah, so even though if the score held 1-1, we win.
Yeah.
Even though that's the case after the Morris goal at the end of the half, this was still a game. After the Rossi goal,
It's desperation mode.
Yeah, this game's basically done, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because they would have had to score 3 more unanswered with they had 40 minutes.
They had 40 minutes.
Not unheard of.
Yep.
But I mean, but we had just scored. And we had just scored before that, before the half.
The momentum was definitely on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah, this really felt like the game was over. And I don't know that really changed, other than the fact that there was time.
I mean,
they had a period about 10, 15 minutes.
Well,
a lot.
Yeah.
They just kept bringing in more forwards, right?
They had 7 shots and 1 on target in the first half. In the second half, they had 15 shots with 5 on target.
Yeah.
I mean, they were putting everything forward, just trying to cross the ball in, hopefully get a second ball to somebody off the cross. I mean, it was just, they were constantly.
Schulte was a big piece of this too, right? I mean, I felt like he was everywhere he needed to be.
And just bodies getting in front of players. They so many times they try to shoot that shut straight into the player.
This
blocking it.
This is what we were talking about at my house at this time in the game. Was like, okay, they need 3. They're going to have to get through our defense, which they have not done a good job of doing. And then after they do that, they have to get it by Schulte. It's like it's just a really tough thing to do 3 times. It just seemed like it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, but we scored in the 49th, so they had a lot of time to come back. But for whatever reason,
that's what I'm saying.
When we were watching it live, I felt pretty confident. So Gallardo comes off in the 54th. Romo comes off, and they bring on Brandon Vasquez. We didn't talk about this, but they didn't start Brandon Vasquez. I still don't think they rate him that well or that high, even though he has been scoring for them this season.
They paid like $60 million. They just know he can't produce against. Well, he has produced against us, but he can't beat us.
Yeah.
Say that again. 60.
No, 1.6. I think it was something like that. Wasn't
16 million. Oh, I have no idea.
I can't
That's
remember what it
so much money.
I thought it was something ridiculous.
Look that up as we keep going.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
That's
Just
interesting. I think Cucho is like
that one. We'll come back.
Swiss cow. But yeah, they start throwing people on because watching it back and watching the highlights, I was like, oh, we were like in control. We kind of played our game, but watching it when we were watching it again, I was like, oh no, they got really close. Starting in like the 60th minute, from like 60 to almost 80, I'd want to say. Like they were.
Yeah, Vasquez has a beef that he tries to shoot, and it ends up going just straight across the box. Like it finds another teammate, but he was trying to shoot on goal.
Yeah,
and it was just bad.
Sorry, cut that transfer
in the 62nd minute.
Yeah, cut that transfer fee in half.
Still
But
eight.
still a lot of money. Like it was 7.5 plus $1 million. Like add on.
Should we double it then, or just cut it?
into
Cut it
double
in half and double
I
it.
was cut in half and double it. I wanted to say it, but no.
Yeah, but that would have kept it inaccurate.
Exactly.
We haven't done 8.
And then Haas, what is a beef? Can you tell me more about that?
It's
I
like
know.
poorly executed.
Oh, a biff. Is that a biff?
Biff, beef. It's
Yeah,
kinda the
I
same,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure what you were talking about, but
I
I'm
got
for
it.
You know, like a beefcake.
I think that's something different altogether.
What?
Talking about Vasquez.
I don't know.
Vasquez
We
is
had,
a beefcake that is biffing.
Well, taking a beefcake.
All
I don't
right.
know.
Well, but they didn't score, right? I mean, so
I don't know what that is.
maybe things were looking better for them, but they didn't score. I don't know. I don't know.
We
I
made
don't
some
remember
subs. Yeah, we made
feeling
some
like
subs.
that
So they
stressed
were
out about
peppering us, starting at 60th minute, and we ended up making another sub in the 73rd. And it was weird because Aiden Morris came off. He had to have been hurt, right? I mean, he was limping coming off, but that's kind of like partial
I think it was
to coming
cramping.
off.
I think
Cramping.
it was
His
cramping.
vibe. Yeah.
It was
I
soft.
think it was also the score line. It was just like, we don't need
Right.
to run him
I
anymore.
would have taken Nagby. I mean, he normally takes Nagby off before Morris,
Yeah,
right?
but wasn't
Nagby had been
Nagby
sitting out.
Nagby
out?
didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And
didn't
Morris
play
played
Montreal.
a full 90.
But he was
against
on
Montreal.
he was also
for
on a
this
yellow
game.
card. I don't know. It just seemed
Yeah, that's true.
it just seemed kind of weird, but like he brought Derek Jones on and he ended up playing awesome. So, I don't know what I'm talking
Amundsen
about.
came on for Chiberko at the same
Yeah,
time.
and we were talking before. We're like, hey, yeah, we saw Amundsen line up on the sideline, and we were like, yeah, it makes sense. He's probably going to come in for like Yao, and we're just going to park the bus. Like, totally, that's what's going to happen. He's going to come on as like and instead of playing like a left wing back, more play like a flat back four or something like that. But he didn't. He took off Chiberko, who I thought was having a pretty good game. I mean, he had a goal. You know what I mean?
That's right. Anytime the defense scores a goal, you're doing something right.
So, I mean, it was just a like for like, left-footed, left center back. And I was like, okay, that's, kind of a flex. And then,
Same with the Jones for Morris, like for like.
yeah. I was like, okay, cool. He still likes what he sees. And again, at that time, watching it live, I still was confident. We were laughing and whatever. But, watching it again, it's like, oh, no, they were like taking it to us. And then he, brings off Cucho for Russell Rowe. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of taking off Aiden and Cucho. Like, when does that happen?
And he was all friendly about it too.
Oh, yeah,
He was like,
yeah.
He was like, go Russell.
Yeah, he hasn't. I mean, he wasn't as involved as I remember, but he was still, a menace up there. But I don't think he didn't have any like contributions or like.
He looked a little heavy legged for a little bit. I didn't think he was that energetic. If compared to that, they probably were better prepared for him. I don't know, because that first game against them, he was unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
He definitely was less involved in this game, but that might be also preparation.
yeah. So 85th, Russell Rowe comes on, and then the 89th, what happens?
Goal for Russell Rowe in the 89th. Jones wins the ball off of Cortizo in the defensive half. The ball falls to Matan, who immediately turns, pushes forward through the midfield. Russell Rowe has found some space between two defenders. Matan plays him through, pushes the ball out wide left as the Monterrey goalkeeper Andrada. He's kind of pushed out. He's well out of position. Russell Rowe is able to bend it around him with his left foot. Calm, collected finish.
It's an interesting.
If I was
looking
going to choose
goal.
one player on this team, and they wouldn't just pick anybody, I'd pick Russell Rowe.
That's no way.
Because he doesn't do anything until the very end, and then just jumps in and takes an opportunity.
They kept saying
and scores like what
What?
you just did. You haven't said anything
Yes.
this whole show.
Haven't said anything.
And then you just drop in with this
I'm still here.
with this bending joke.
Yeah, you can't even see me with all the shade thrown at me.
Yeah. have you guys seen a goal like that before? It was just very unique the way that that? It was like a bending, bouncing
He
pass.
took his touch like.
So
it seemed like yeah. Go ahead.
It was
his
good.
run to stay onside was textbook what a forward should be doing.
Yeah.
And then his first touch takes him away from the keeper.
Yeah.
Who is out of position, like Matt said.
Way out.
Way out. And then he is able to bend it with the inside of his left foot. And you don't. It was a fantastic finish to a play that he created. I mean, hands down, great job by Russell Crowe. On the road, putting it away. It's that dagger. That's what you need. That's who you want. That's who you want in your team.
Yeah.
People, like build a team around him. So, no, people say, why did this take it wide? The problem is if you take it straight, like normally, the goalie is like right there.
Yeah,
He's
and it cuts
far
off his
out.
angles.
So
Yeah.
he has to take it wide, and then that finish. It was executed perfectly. I thought it was really interesting because we've been pretty rough on him, but they kept saying like Russell Crowe had been unbelievable for the Crew this year or something like that after he scored.
No,
like,
he
again,
hasn't.
this
No
guy's on
one
fire.
watches the Crew and then they say stuff. That's all it is. He's just the best. And it's
He's
like,
the best.
is he? Like, yeah. All right. So check this out. So we have the Pirate. That didn't work out. But the back of his jersey says Russell Crowe, and that kind of looks like Russell Crowe.
Oh, hold on.
So we could
Were you
call
watching
him.
the Total
and
Soccer
yeah,
show?
yeah, I'm ripping off the
Yeah,
total
okay.
site. So TSS shouted out. He kept saying it's Russell Crowe, and I was like, we can call him the Gladiator. Just the
No.
Gladiator.
It's just so
Wasn't
unnecessary.
it Russell Crowe that was fighting
just
people
too-
around the world?
What?
Nobody? South Park? No. Okay.
No. Nope.
No,
Missed that
but
one.
he
was
did.
calling everybody something Norwegian. and
Who
everybody
else is
beat him up.
Russell Crowe? Was he
Why don't we call him
Dangerous
Les-
Mind or
Les
what?
Mis?
a beautiful mind. He
beautiful
also
Dangerous Minds?
he
Completely different.
Yeah.
he also
was a teacher.
sponsored a chlamydia clinic for
Ooh,
some kind of animal in New Zealand
that can't be
in the
right.
name of John Oliver. Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
There's a whole sub story about this where John Oliver bought like one of his loincloths or something from one of his movies so that he could send it to the last remaining Blockbuster up in Alaska, and then
Oh,
Russell
yes,
Crowe
I've
took
seen
the
parts of this.
the proceeds from that purchase and sponsored a chlamydia clinic for, I can't remember what the animal is.
A koala.
Is this koala?
It's a
looking it up.
koala.
Did you
Yeah.
cheese that for me? Thank you.
I did.
Koala
And
okay.
chlamydia,
chlamydia?
cheese. Don't mention those two things together.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. I'll keep all that in mind.
in a cottage.
That's very astringent.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Go Crew. All right.
It's crew time. Okay. All right.
Anywho.
I think the last thing to say about this game
Oh,
from
We got a little more.
I was going
Wait
to
a
talk about the
minute.
PK.
Yes.
Well,
How-
and
about-
before that, Ramirez comes on for Matan.
Right.
Good
right.
sub.
And was this his first? Was
Because
this,
if I'm going to pick one player to sub in,
Well, if Matan
Oh, here he
picked up
goes.
a yellow, he would have been suspended for the final.
they don't erase all card stuff for the final. That seems bananas. Isn't that what they do for actual Champions League?
I don't know.
no idea.
I feel like the finals
this
is
is
just
Champions Cup, so it's different.
like Champions League Cup. Lup.
It's coming up later in the year.
Whatever.
Hey, so-
That's a terrible.
Hey, but was
don't like
the Nagby yellow? He didn't have any accumulation, did he? Is
He
good for the
never
final?
gets carded. No.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Ramirez comes in. Was this his first appearance since? No. He came in Monterrey or Montreal, right?
The other one.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
So he was back in, and then we had a PK. Did you write that up, Oz?
Yeah, so 90 plus 4, Schulte plays a long ball over the top, and as Ramirez is running onto it, the keeper comes out and kind of takes Ramirez out, and he gets the ball, but as He follows through. He drags Ramirez down by his neck.
Right.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot how
like
it happened.
It goes-
WWE style. So go ahead.
Yeah, it goes to VAR. It ends up being called a PK. There's also potential that it would have been a handball outside of the box by the keeper because that's where he was when he ended up making contact with it. Nonetheless, Ramirez shoots the PK by the 90+7th minute. It's saved. He goes to the keeper's left, low and hard, but he reads it the whole way. And then he promised that the next one he would make on X.
And by the way, not a card on that play.
Yeah.
Which is insanity to me. He took him and slammed him.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was. There is no reason in the world he should not have just done a Panenka and then just gotten completely naked. That's what I kept yelling. I was just like, man, we're up 3-1 in front of like all these people. If he just would have Panenka'd and the goalie would have dove, just like icing on the cake, and just been like, boom.
Yeah, I did see that
done.
he doubled down and said he's good for the next one. All right, so we're going to Pachuca. I've heard that it's a 33-hour drive. So.
Yeah.
We is doing a lot of work there. I'm going to be at home. I don't know.
It's the first time since 2011 that an MLS team has won at Monterrey. Or I think beaten Monterrey in a 2-game series.
It was just so decisive. I mean, I don't know. It feels like we're just working our way through this, man.
I thought it was funny how they all went after the refs as if they had anything.
That made
at the
no
end of the
sense.
game.
I didn't understand
I
it.
guess the only thing could have been in the around 66 minute when they had some shout out for penalties. I think there was even in that extended play there was even maybe a handball, and they didn't review any of that.
On Moreira?
Yeah, but like the guy chipped it at his hands. I don't know if he actually hit his hands, but like anytime someone just chips the ball, not trying to shoot or pass, just at someone's hands, I'm like, dude, that's garbage. You're just you're like, please help me, please help us.
It was so much game after that too. There was so much game
But
after
you're
that
down
too.
2 goals, 3 on aggregate. Like,
and you're going to make a big mistake.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I get.
I would assume
Stupid.
that red card carries through to the because they're going to play the World Cup,
The Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that carries through for him, so he can play in a first round or whatever in that.
That would be funny.
So tell me this: what happens if they beat us and then go on and beat Pachuca and they already have a seed? How would that have? I mean, what is their incentive to win? Just glory or what?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a good question.
Money.
Yeah, absolutely money. I think getting
Money for the club.
I think winning the final, you automatically get 10 million from what they were saying on the broadcast. Like that's just
for
lump sum.
comparison, for winning the MLS Cup, the Columbus Crew got all of $300,000.
That's it?
Yeah, that's what you get.
Mort is doing the
Austin
Dr.
Powers.
Evil.
Yeah, Dr. Evil. Yeah.
Pinky.
Oh, 1 million?
That's more
I'll
like-
pay that.
It's more like
$300,000. You know that's Lorne Michaels. They're like doing.
I'm more
Lorne
like a
Michaels
gold
impression.
member though in the way I speak. But
Gross.
yeah.
Yeah. Show us the skin box, Mort.
So good, so good.
Schulte.
Schulte.
I guess.
Patrick Schulte.
But
All right.
so we go to Pachuca because Pachuca beat America. They're the higher seed, so the only chance we had was obviously that America would win.
And they're playing
in a
right now,
shootout.
right? Like I haven't looked at the score or something like that. They lost
0-0 at
Okay,
half.
they lost.
Pachuca is playing a regular season game.
Well,
Yeah,
We'll get
Or
into
a,
that here after the
playoff
break.
game, Emeki's playoff game. Okay, let's break and then we'll dig a little deeper on the thoughts. I think we'll do that and then we'll do Crew 2 after that. So we'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Okay, we're back. Just real quick. Dangerous Minds.
Yeah.
Trey, you said, was this Coolio?
Yeah.
Was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
It was like a teach them out of the slums kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll teach him to read.
Which then stemmed Amish Paradise by Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Oh, Gangster's Paradise was a soundtrack made movie.
Yes.
Correct.
Soundtrack made
Yes.
song for that movie.
Supposedly Russell Crowe is going to be the principal in the movie, but so that's
That's gotta be. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
I was on the casting.
He is one of the nice guys.
Had nothing to do with him. All right, we're gonna see how many Russell Crowe themed things we can get in this.
Yeah.
This whole thing. I'm just going down through his list. Man, I didn't realize he's been in a bunch of bad movies.
Lot of movies.
It's about to get unhinged.
Even though he's not
Was he in that
American,
movie?
He's a lot of
Oh, he's
American
New
made
Zealand.
movies. American Gangster, you might argue.
Was he canceled?
I don't think so.
Didn't he do
it
some shit?
feels like he was. But
Did he?
we
Was he in
might
this
just be
No.
no,
I think what happened was he got old and kind of on the heavier side, and then
Oh
kind of
yeah.
took him away a little bit.
Yeah.
Cancelled.
It's years from his gladiator days.
He could have been canceled. He kind of occupies a similar headspace to Mel Gibson for me. So maybe there's like,
Yeah, totally.
you know, he's like canceled
I
by
feel that.
headspace proximity. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to cheese that later. Though I don't know if you can cheese cancellation. It might be filtered. Okay, but that's not why we're here. Let's jump to the thoughts. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the Cirque stat?
This is Steve Cirque, and this is a Cirque stat.
All right, Steve Cirque says Brandon Vasquez can flee from Cincinnati to Mexico, but still can't escape the Columbus hashtag Crew96 scoring 3 unanswered come from behind goals to crush his team's title dreams at home in a semifinal.
It's true.
Road goals.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas. Yes.
Hashtag road
Yep.
goals.
Yeah. Hashtag thanks AJ for pointing that out. Dude, thinking that we came from behind on 2 teams that were phenomenal to score 3 goals. Phrasing.
I bet he
Phrasing.
feels that.
Yeah, phrasing.
Yeah.
Hashtag from behind.
Okay. But yeah, that's just great. Man, it's great to be a Crew fan. He also posted something that he had Upper 90 Club stickers in Cincinnati. Who did that? Was that any of us? I don't. It looks like. Let's see, Cincy.
The one looks like a magnet.
Yeah,
The one's the original sticker without the QR code, and the other one looks like one of the magnets on a door.
no, we
Where
had
are
some
you
stickers
seeing
like
this
that
stuff?
too.
It was on Twitter. It looks like there's like is it like band
It's
stuff?
on the dock.
Oh, it's on the dock.
That's got to be a bar or brewery.
I wonder
No, that's
what's
looks
the
like somebody's bathroom.
Cincinnati.
I
That's
think
not.
we need to, you guys
somebody's
forget
Love it.
that this is a club. Yep.
It's
not just a podcast. So outside of these walls, we have a big club. I'm glad to see us represented.
Maybe we own a dance club in Cincy, and that's what this is all about.
No.
And welcome to Steven Moreira with his upper 90 goal.
Yeah, I said that. You were probably having internet problems at that moment, but so yeah, do you guys know who we have hired to build the new deck for our club? What else we got?
Aqua? Yeah, the other one was Matt Doyle. In 2021 and 2022, Matan played 37 games across all comps for the Crew. He registered no goals or primary assists, which is crazy. Wilfred Nancy came in at the start of 2023. Since then, Matan, as I like to call him, Messi, played 48 games across all comps with 3 goals and 13 primary assists. What a difference a coach makes. I mean, yeah, right?
Well,
I mean,
this coach didn't send him off to Romania or whatever it was.
No, that's where he's from. Where did he go?
Ridiculous.
He went to like, did he go to like the Pittsburgh River?
He went to I feel like he went to like Czech.
No, he went
Republic
back
or
to
something.
Europe.
Yeah,
But he went to like Czech Republic, or I can't remember where he went actually.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I also think it has a lot to do with the system we're playing, because the way the 4-2-3-1. I think, what was he trying to use him as? Was he trying to use him as a winger or a number 10?
Who, Porter?
Yeah, what was Porter trying to use Matan as?
I think he had him on the wing quite a bit.
The wing, that's what I thought. And he's not quite a winger. Like, he's not a width guy. He's more of a, kind of a hybrid number 10, kind of what Rossi is, where they come back, they can get real dribbly. But still,
they sent him back to Romania.
Yeah,
sent
you're
him
right.
back to Romania. Okay.
Who's they? Porter?
Yeah.
Porter sent it too. Yeah.
He went to Romania.
Loaned
and
him
then,
out.
Oh,
Loaned him out.
Don't you remember the first game for Nancy? He came in and we were like, he's still here?
That was against Philadelphia last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 4-1 loss.
I think he started. And
Yeah.
we were like, who is that? Hold on. That's
Like
Matan.
Matan, like the Matan?
I still think a bigger glow up is Yeboah. What he.
I heard Nancy say, like, if I'm going to start a team, I'm choosing that guy. So bring him back from Romania. And let's go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Team of the match
shots
day.
fired.
We've got them all. We've got them all, baby.
What a match day this was.
Thanks, Jamie Carragher.
I do want to shout out the what was it? NBC. Good morning.
ABC,
6 on your side.
which is
6 on
crazy
your side.
because usually the people that are championing the Crew is NBC, specifically a Dave Mazza. He's a huge Crew
but a weather
fan.
guy.
Yeah,
A weather guy pushing it on a news program. You can only do so much.
yeah, that's also true. Shout out Dave.
He's like, it might rain for the Crew game tonight.
I love Dave.
Good weather for the Crew. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, but
I'm down with
the
Dave,
ABC, for the people that haven't seen it, does someone want to kind of describe what happened?
So I just saw it before we got started on here. Short story is Good Morning Columbus, or whatever the ABC show is. They did a shout out to Anthony Precourt's trophy case. And it was just like a nice long 20-30 second slow pan on an empty shelving
Do you know
unit.
that? You know what the Football Americas podcast with Herc and what's the other guy?
yeah.
They started their podcast with that clip as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Men
Nice.
and Blazers also talked about it too.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, good on them. That's great. I will never, like, throwing shade at Austin and Precourt is always fine. Like, it's always, that's like my number one hate list.
But it's also like, it's
Well-
pretty funny that it's like the what's the term? Just broadcast television, what everybody in town is watching in the morning is
And that
talking
was brought
about this like kind of obscure crew reference that probably, that's like not really as I would have imagined, as readily understood as most people as you would expect most people to have when they're watching a news program in the morning. But I just will say, just an out of towner's perspective on the crew. I have not been back to Columbus very much. We're doing family rearing and everything else, and we've been gone for 7 or 8 years. Lauren was in town this weekend for a baby shower. There was not a crew game. And there's a lot that has happened in Columbus in the last 8 years. We were in the short north. We stayed in the short north when we played Revolution in the opening game against opening lower.com game in 2021. And, the town looks way different in 2021 than in 2016. But she was telling me, man, there's people out wearing the crew gear, like just out. It's like it's everywhere. And, man, I'm just like, it feels like the culture is really, it's just different than, pre-court ball, which was like
Sucker town.
Yeah. As we mentioned last week, which was like, how little can we spend on this team before we try to ship them off to
I feel like they've eclipsed the Blue Jackets even. Like I've seen more and more people that.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement. Yeah. I mean, the success definitely helps.
Yeah.
2 championships in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
The fact that the news is trash talking our previous owner is fantastic.
For no reason. We weren't playing.
Yes.
We weren't playing.
Oh yeah, it was like they're not totally unnecessary.
Unsolicited.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
we're on our way to potentially having the chance to win hardware.
If you were going to,
so they
if you
brought
were
it
going to
up.
hire a news team to cover your team today, it would be
Dave
the
Mazza.
Good Morning Columbus.
It would be Mazza.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, ABC. You did your best. We're an NBC podcast.
Yeah, this is
we're actually we're sponsored by WBNS
and we
NPR.
We don't give slots out to just anyone. It's just like so. Hey, are we doing a Crew 2 update?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's jump to that, and then when we come back, we'll do our tables and predictions.
Hey guys, Carlos here. Thanks for having me here to talk about the Cappies who play Toronto in Toronto this 5 de Mayo. And as we've seen this season, they rotated a lot again. Some guys getting their first starts would include Cole Johnson. Cole Johnson of CCC fame. He was the second sub goalie at the game against Monterrey. So he comes in, he brings a lot of experience, and it would pay off later on. One of the things that I wanted to highlight first was that the Cappies were a uniform combo that I hadn't seen before. All yellow with the exception of the socks that were black, and I thought that looked pretty fresh. And they played really well. They got a lot of pressures early on, but they got scored on first on a bad giveaway between Cole Johnson and one of our defenders. It happens. They took... the way we play, especially at this level, it happens a lot to us. But then Cole, right afterwards in the same first half, had an amazing save. One of the best ones that I've seen in a really long time. He seems to be a really good talent, I'm thinking to myself at this point of the game. And then the second half comes in, and we get a bad giveaway, and we scored on a lot of hard work by presses to get that ball on the opponent's box, and then Moroka, who has been very, very, very good, puts it in. Then right afterwards, Knight, who is nice to see him playing again, gets a PK. I still have a lot of hope for him. Abdou Djamfi takes it, but he hits the post. So hoping to myself, hey, I hope this doesn't go to PKs, because if we're in bad form or have the Eeps. But that wasn't really a problem. The game ended 1-1, and then Cole Johnson, again, his first game with the Cappies, saves 3 of them, back to back to back. He lets the first one in and then saves all of the other ones, and we end up winning, taking that extra point MLS Next Pro allows us to take. So really good. I think my takeaway is that we have to pay the Crew 2 goalkeeper coach as much money as they want because they've given us Slapkis, they've given us Specialty, and now they've given us what seems to be a really, really good talent in Cole Johnson as well. All right. Cool, guys. Thanks for having me, and have a good one.
Okay, we're back. Thanks, Bird.
Thanks, Bird.
Thanks, Bird.
Okay, so
Morocco scored.
And
Taha played.
We're going to get into our predictions and where we stand in the table. So let's do that now.
Tables. Just tables. 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
Eastern Conference. We've got Inter Miami in first place. 12 games played, 24 points.
They actually played a good game this week.
Man.
Who was that against?
New York Red Bull.
And they just embarrassed them?
6-1.
Yeah, 6-2.
Why do I feel like it's like WWE whenever Inter Miami plays and it's just a script that's pre-written to make Messi the best?
You're old enough to know that nothing is real, that we're all just being fed a narrative, and that we're part of a larger economic scheme to make the top 1% more money. Who was number 2 in the table, Haas?
Second place.
Anyway.
FC Cincinnati. 11 games played, 21 points. We got Toronto in third with 19. New York Red Bull with 17 in fourth. Crew in fifth with 15 points on 10 games played. So we got a couple games in hand, 1 or 2, depending who against. And we are going up against Cincinnati this coming weekend at home. Ooh. They won their previous game this weekend against Orlando, 1-0.
Even though Orlando had a player down for most of the match, they scored in the first 7 seconds. Cincinnati did, like in the first minute. It's wow, dude. I watched some of that game. Orlando is bad. Like that Trash. Is a bad team. They played a player down since he wasn't able to do anything past that first goal, and then they eventually Cincinnati also got a red card. It was somebody that came off the bench got the red card. So even though they were a player up, they managed to also get a red card. So they finished with 10 on each side. Game was ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, and in the spirit of our, I know that this past week we didn't have a traditional prediction round, both because there was not a league game, so there would be no points awarded, but also because we took the time to do the C3 predictions. Mort, bless him, made the graphic. Nobody posted it.
Thoughts
we
and
didn't
prayers.
Post anything to Twitter.
What the hell, Ben?
I don't remember seeing. Did he actually post it? Give it to me.
It was like the same night.
At least we posted
Yeah, remember
James.
he even said something like, "Oh, I got an early start. Here's the graphic."
Oh, that's why.
It's okay. At least we posted on Instagram, though, right?
No, we didn't post it on Instagram because Haas didn't post it there either.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know what?
Well,
nobody wins anything because we didn't show up. We were like, is there a good reference here?
Something with Russell
Crowe.
I
was wishing there was like a Russell Crowe.
I thought I would know.
Sleepy movie.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah,
it was a dangerous mind he had.
Yeah. He showed up in Gladiator. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did. He did. I don't see
except
any.
For at home.
He's got to be like a father that doesn't show up in something.
Yeah.
Proof of dangerous mind.
Russell Crowe deadbeat.
I would have expected to see a prediction of 3-10 to Huma. I don't know. Really, really reaching here. But so this week we will not be taking anything from the rich and giving it to the poor. A la Robin Hood. He was in a movie called Robin Hood.
He wasn't Robin Hood.
We are a broken podcast like a broken city. So let's talk about Iron Fists.
He wasn't in that many notable movies. I kept going through them, and I was like,
any of these movies.
I don't remember any of these.
All right. You need. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Supposedly
going to stop doing what I'm
Never
doing.
mind.
Let's have a look at let's do a refresher of the predictions table and then do our predictions for the Hell is Real home game. All right, let's talk about D's next
I don't know.
games.
I thought I
You got to
was.
think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
So if I remember correctly, we've got a 3-way tie in second between Ben, Trey, and myself.
Yes,
Mort
yes,
is in the basement, and then
Yep.
Haas is in first place.
That is accurate, and he got 8 points.
Okay. All right.
Dominating.
All right. Are you guys ready to do your predictions for this game against Cincinnati?
Not at all.
Okay, good. So go ahead and set them out.
You're dumb.
Wow. Okay, so we've got a couple doubles here. Let's start with Ben. Ben, you said 2-0.
It's crew time.
Does that mean that the Crew's going to win? Because it's at home.
Yes, I did it Euro style.
Oh, what? Yeah, right. Okay.
I just don't think they're going to score. We're going to have some time off. Their defense is solid, but I think we'll get 2. I actually was thinking we might actually get 3, but 2 seems about right. I mean, week and a half off. I think that's about right.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to score.
Mort, you said 3-1 Crew. Also showing your score in the Euro style.
I got to be very specific. I have to be very careful about how I put down things now. I have to. It's like gaslighting. Is that what you call it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3-1 to Crew. I mean, they have some couple of good players, and they're going to be fired up for this. It's a dangerous one because they kind of like they want to come here and ruin our party. Yeah. So, but I think we're going to dominate. I feel really good about this one, and yes, 3-1.
This is our first match against them since the Eastern Conference Finals, and yeah, you could see them getting worked up about that. Circling back, I do not think that is a great use of gaslighting, but I do know what you mean.
Well, do you know what's crazy? I don't know if no one even talked about this. Bopuenza?
Pronunciations brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
He got a broken jaw in a fight. Like a boxer. Yeah, with a boxer.
Who gets in a fight with a boxer?
Did he know it was a boxer?
Like a dog? Like a buck?
No. A human man.
And like a good boxer too. Like I saw his record is like
not an animal dog, a human man?
No. 20-3, Trey. His record
20-3. Okay, 19-2. 20-3.
We won't say his name, but we will mention his record.
His name.
So Google his record if you want to know his name.
At least fight the bad boxer. Like
don't fight anybody. Was it at a club or was it like?
Had to be.
It just.
I heard it was Lodge Bar. Okay.
Okay.
Could it have been a dog fight?
That seems racist.
Why? It's species.
Mel Gibson.
Species.
Species.
Boxer is a dog. It's a dog race.
It's a dog.
It's a race of dogs.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Is it?
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
With all due respect, English is not your first language.
It's exactly what we call in Norwegian. It's not. I know it's called a dog breed. In Norwegian, it's called a dog race.
Okay.
Literally, that is what we call it.
Let's call this episode Mel Gibson's
you were right.
Wet Dream. Yeah. Okay. Woo, man.
So sweaty.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, I've heard that the boxer has a short lifespan. Let's move on. Trey, you said 2-1 crew.
I did. It's not going to be 3-10. It's definitely been a good year for Cincinnati, but they're not playing Cinderella Man this time. So we're going Master and Commander 2-1.
Master and Commander, yeah, that is a good
2-1.
That's a good one. Was that when he was a pirate?
Yeah, it's like Napoleon.
He's like sailing around. They go and doing like.
I went with 4 of them right there, guys. All right.
I didn't follow the first part of it. I was like,
kind of caught one.
3-10 to Yuma.
A good year, Cinderella Man and Master and Commander.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We'll see
Dude,
if
those were in a row.
Christian Ramirez, the Man of Steel, makes up for his missed penalty kick attempt. Hawes, you said 2-1. That's the same score line as Trey. Any thoughts or Russell Crowe movie references that you'd like to add?
Trey covered it.
Trey covered it.
Hey, ever since we went into the stats about that 2-1 score, I feel like everybody wants to call 2-1. I feel like you guys are just kind of trying to play the stats and not play your prediction.
Well, the problem is
it's my accusation now.
Our defense is tighter than it was last year when we were just like banana time, and we're also not scoring like randomly 4 or 5 goals a game. But also, I don't think they're going to score, man.
More like, I don't get why you're in last place. Just like do better, like predict better. You can literally predict anything you want.
Well, I'm going to predict 2-1
and we've taken
for the rest
gamification
of the year just because I want to do 2-1.
So you said for this one you said 3-1.
Yeah, I said 3-1.
I did not say 2-1. I said 2-0 like Ben. Cincinnati's not going to score. And we're going to score 2. So that's how I got there.
I mean, you're set up to move up the standings if they score 3.
I am asking for sympathy.
You're going to have to.
I'm just saying the fact that everybody's picking 2-1. I can't tell you how many times somebody have been picking. Well, I could technically tell you how many times.
So
how many games are there in the season? 34. We talked
32?
about this.
Regular season games 34.
34 now.
34.
Yeah.
34. And Hawes, you said we're at 10.
Correct. 10 played.
All right, so we're almost a third of the way there. We're not quite like a race to the finish yet.
Okay.
But
In Haas's defense, it's just the second time he called it 2-1 victory.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see how this shakes out. I think we still have time to see some changes. Hopefully, we know that Haas will be listed last throughout the season. Whether he'll maintain the top slot remains to be seen.
I'll also not be watching this one or attending this one because I will be at a music festival in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Weather fan.
Is it actually
hopefully watching
in
on my
Salt
phone
Lake
at that
or
point.
is it in like the suburb?
It's at the fairgrounds.
The rest of you guys going? We had the tent set up last, was it August after the League's Cup, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do a tent. We couldn't this time just because Haas couldn't be there. We want to make sure everybody's there so we can all hang out. So we'll do a tent hopefully in the next month or 2 or something like that. I'll actually be there. I took Haas's ticket, so we'll be there. We're also gonna we'll have the bands, we'll have some stickers, I think, and maybe some coasters. We're also going to try, we started hiding the magnets around the stadium, like behind Nordica. So like at halftime when you go to pee or whatever back there, we've been like slapping some.
I'm just hoping they're not getting thrown away.
Some of the people. Yeah, they might be.
I mean, that's what the staff is going to do. They're going to throw them away at the end of the night. So.
Yeah. Well,
Go grab them.
I know we're going to post, and you got to be quick. Come find
So you
us.
going, Ben? So you want a carpool?
Yes, carpal
Come
tunnel,
pick me
baby.
up. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll try to. We should probably try to hang out before we get down there. Like I said, I really wanted to get down there and have a, do our jersey giveaway and all that stuff, but it just didn't work out. So we'll be doing that here in the next month or so once we find a time where we can all kind of be there. And anybody that's traveling to Chicago after, I'm sure we'll talk about this. We are going to be up in Chicago.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to leave the stadium on after the game in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's also true.
Oh yeah, you got to watch out for those Chicago fans.
Yep, you're going to get stabbed.
You're going to get set on fire.
Even if you live there, I know better because I don't live in your city, so I know better than you.
But I watched the news.
I'm excited to see you guys. It's going to be great. The last 2 years have been great in Chicago. Just a preview. Last year was the Celerayan winner from midfield after we went 1-0 the whole game. Y'all thought I was going to lose my 1-0 prediction. Then they scored. What's his name? What is his name?
Power Cube.
Rafiki.
That's Rafiki from The Lion King.
Is something? What is that guy's name?
Squash a banana.
Shaqiri.
Yeah.
Shaqiri scored in the 89th, and then Celerayan scored from
to
midfield
make it 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
How about that, Mark?
And then the year before was the
Cucho.
Was the Cucho debut and only the second time of 3 total now the Crew has won after giving up a 2-0 deficit. Derek Etienne scored twice and Cucho scored the winner. So looking forward to having you guys. I hope we have a repeat bedazzled performance. That's not a Russell Crowe reference.
I was just looking up Russell Crowe movies. I'm like, what can I do?
I know we're pushing towards wrapping up here, but I feel like we have not touched on the fact that Pachuca is currently playing in a play-in game to get into the Liga MX playoffs, and what everyone thinks about, do you want them to qualify for the playoffs and play more games in the playoffs before they play us on June 1st in the final? Or do we want them to lose and not make the playoffs and have almost an entire month off?
I want them to lose.
I feel
an entire month off.
I want them to lose.
I want to see him keep playing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because
tire them out or have them not.
We talk about
it's
this
enough
a lot.
time
We talk about the
rust.
benefit of League MX when we start these early rounds and why some of the scores get very lopsided is the fact that we are coming into the season. We're not match ready.
Right.
And they're in the peak of the season. It will be the opposite. They will be out of their season.
It's almost a full month.
You can't replicate that even with friendlies.
Yeah, and I think the thing we're not thinking of is now that we've had a week and a half off, we play Cincy, we're gonna have our best starting 11 for the from here on out. It's not, there's no more rotation. He will be starting the best team
I hear
we
what you're
possibly
saying,
can.
but we play Cincinnati on the 11th. We play Montreal in Montreal on the 15th. Then we play Chicago in Chicago. Then we play Orlando on the 25th. Then we play New England on the 29th. There's currently a game on
29th and the 1st are probably going to get moved because of
on
the CCC
6-1
final.
for Seattle.
Yeah.
So I want to see them play just as many games as we're playing. If they get knocked out and they get 3 weeks of rest versus us
3
playing
weeks of
4 or
rest
5
is
games,
not different than 10 days of rest. There's diminishing returns in the rest.
Yeah, but all of May we travel. We travel to Montreal, to Chicago.
For them.
That's what I'm with you, Mort. I'm with you.
Yeah, I want them. Yeah.
What I'm saying is if they got 3 weeks of rest, it's not as if they're going to be 3 times as rested as if they only had 1 week of rest. Rest is
fat and lazy. That's what we're looking for. Fat and lazy.
I'm with you.
We should order them
be
pizzas.
people that they're going to be dude, they're gonna work on contracts. They're gonna be in middle of cutting people. They're gonna be in middle of bringing people on. Their coach might be fired. Who knows? Because it's like off season.
Yeah. Their coach actually could be fired. I mean, they wouldn't do that with the final.
It could be like really a lot can change. Like the Quick and the Dead.
Nice try. Nice try. That's not a real movie.
You started that whole monologue for that.
It is.
Okay, Chad.
He's just reading. No, I really
got that
do.
from the Insider, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I really do think that it's 2.5, 3 weeks. That's enough time that they can actually get their crap together.
It's almost 4 weeks if they don't win tonight, and it's currently 0-0.
Hey, I'm just saying I'd rather have them keep playing and be tired and possibly get injuries and other things going on versus be able to sit at home and rest everybody.
Yeah, but if they keep winning, they're going to be on a streak. I mean, this is like, they're going to be like on their game. I think the best thing is
I'm going to take a tired team versus a rested team any day.
4 weeks rested. Yeah. I'll take them losing today all day.
All right, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it between the what did you say it was, like 4 or 5 games that we're going to play this month. Next to Cincinnati, we're going to do great. We all said we're going to win, so we're definitely going to win. We'll talk to you guys in a week. Go Crew! It's Crew time. Gotcha.
I love you.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
That's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. I've never made that noise. I've never laughed like that.
Wait,
I was having a hard time.
How do you cut this one?
I thought I was going to die.
Where do we start?
I thought that was it.
Go.
No.
What's that dog race? The Adirondacks? Something like that?
No, the
Adirondacks.
Iditarod.
Yeah, Iditarod. And Santa's,
you were talking about the
Santa's El Helper.
Oh,
Santa's little helper.
Okay. Whew. Yeah, good luck on that one.
That hit me right at the right time.
Yeah, I think I made the same death noise that you did.
I feel like I just got the flu.